always best to start off as friends. And the reason why that is because there's a certain tension. There's a certain sexual tension behind every male to female friendship. Behind any friendship that you guys are attracted to each other, there's always tension. And you want to be able, if you control your emotion, you're gonna be able to tell when somebody likes you, because their intensity goes up over time. The way they look at you changes. They'll want to see you more often. They'll want to see you more alone. They're gonna be more physical. These are things that happens if you just stay friends with someone and you don't fully commit to them. And this is why I believe that the friend route to seduce someone is more cynical, and it hurts the most, and it's the most pleasurable, right? Now, I tell this, if for me, I always believe that if you're a guy, for this to work, one, you have to be attractive. Two, you have to offer something, right? And you have to have a masculine frame. If I try to friend zone someone who's a girl, and I'm a sort of a goofball, and I'm never serious, this is not gonna work. It has to be a it's almost like you're acting like you're flirting with them, but you're not at the same time, right? And what happens is that the person is never really gonna know what to date or not. It's gonna be really murky and confusing. Even when you ask them, let's go get dinner together, they're going to say, is this a real dinner or is this a friendly dinner? And when you're on the date with them, you give them looks here and there where it looks suggestive, and then another time you give them a look that looks friendly. You send mixed signals. You touch them in the arm, which feels intimate, and then you give them complete physical distance, and you go on the opposite direction. These things confuse people, and I've done this by mistake because I have female friends, and I tend to give them creepy looks sometimes. They'll tell me, not in a bad way, but but sometimes those looks look like I'm flirting. In reality, I'm not. But that's all in their heads because they don't understand what's going on. And the uncertainty, the lack of commitment for you, where you're really friendly, you're consistent, but at the same time, they don't know whether or not you're romantically interested in them. This will create the tension where they're going to be on the aggressive and start to prioritize you. Other ways that you could do this is to just make sure you never give somebody the impression that you're never going to leave. And the reason why I say this is because a lot of you motherfuckers out there go out of your way to let people know that you're never going to leave. So don't do that shit and tell people you watch my channel. The next one, mix harshness with kindness. This is where, I always tell you guys, out of all the people that I've worked with, the one that applied this the most is the one that I respected the most, and that's my ex-boss, Georgina, right? This lady, I'm even gonna call her bitch, because she might come out of nowhere. But this lady gave me Judge Judy vibe, right? This was her personality. She was a type of woman that that she was a strict mom. You get what I'm saying? Like, she was just like, Alexis, did you do it right? And when you pissed her off, she would like, and then hold in her anger, right? She would roll her eyes, and I pissed her off a lot, man. I remember one time, I forgot, we were at a client's house, and I forgot the papers. Some important paper, man. And she was like, Alexis, she was looking, she was like, she lowered her, she had glasses, but she would lower them. She was like, Alexis, she reminded me of Miranda Priestley from Devil Wears Prada, but nicer. She was like, Alexis, did you bring the paperwork? And I'm like, oh, fuck. And I'm like, no, Georgina. And she was like, and then she went from anger, and then she looked at the client. She was like, we'll be back. We're going to go get it. She looked at me and looked away, and we walked. We got in her car, didn't say shit. She didn't say anything. I went in, got the paperwork. We went back out, not a word. And I'm like, yo, I'm about to get fired here, man. This is a bullshit. And her, so the thing about her is that her harshness was never really verbal, right? It was more non-verbal. Her anger, her disappointment was really in rolling of the eyes, looking away, not talking, right? But also her general demeanor was a very serious, confident, like all about work type of person. But then, like I always said, there were moments when like within the 1 hour period when we were all having meetings, you saw the ranges, you saw the anger, because eventually I was going to say something that pissed her off, but then you saw the fascination, because sometimes when we were doing case studies and we were giving advice to our coworkers about their cases, I would say, if I would think, I would say some brilliant shit. I'm not even gonna lie. I would say some shit, and she was like, "Good point, Alexis. Good point." And when she got happy, she wouldn't smile, but she was like, "Good point," and I would be happy. But then sometimes somebody would make a joke, and you would see her rare smile. She would smile like 3 or 4 times a shift, right? But when you saw that smile, it was like finally, it was like there's such a drought because of her serious demeanor, that the few times you saw her smile, it's like having a sip of water when you haven't had water in 10 days, right? Like that little sip will release more emotion than anything else. And the reason why this works is because by making your kindness rare and your harshness as rare, and then a serious or neutral demeanor, the harshness you sent should be of high expectations, right? The harshness that you give out should be of respect, should be of consistency, should be of purely just how to treat me the right way. And if you do it wrong, you're gonna get that from me. And the niceness comes when they meet your expectations. When they do the right thing, you let them know, right? For example, me, I don't really compliment people that much. That's something I should work on. But when I notice that when I compliment people, because I rarely do it, they get like, "Oh, wow, okay." And when I say compliment, I compliment people, but with my partners, sometimes I don't. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? It's the weirdest thing. But I do notice that when I do compliment, it does get to them. Well, because I rarely do it. I'm more of an action person. For example, like I don't give you a gift. I'll leave the gift in your coffee. Like for example, if I paint something for you, I don't give it to you. I'll leave the painting somewhere in your house where you'll see it maybe a few hours later. I don't give things as, "Hey, here's my gift. I made it for you." No, I do. I don't say it. You know what I'm saying? And that works. Honestly, that does work, because I don't compliment you with my words. I don't tell you how much I like you, but I do it with my action, and I believe that's so much better. That because it's your acts of kindness also is wrapped around a veil of mystery. You don't say things. People want to hear things, but people react more to your actions, but they still have the itch of hearing it from you. It's much better to just be a doer than a talker. And then the few times you do compliment, the few times you do express your emotions, it hits better. Just don't be someone who's always dishing it out verbally. Like learn to compliment people without words, right? Learn to compliment people with a look. Learn to compliment and make people feel better by giving them something, doing something for them, and stay away from verbally saying it. You say it, but not as often. It'll have a more deeper effect, and these things will make people prioritize you more, because the mixedness of the harshness and the kindness engages people's emotion. The spiritualization engages people's emotions, because we're all primed to be influenced by the spiritual, and the non-committal aspect also engages their emotions, because it threatens their perceived self-esteem. Why don't you commit to me? You get what I'm saying? Especially if they know you had a history of committing to people faster than you are committing to them. Yeah, I know. It's evil shit, man. Anyways, if you guys want to work with Father Alex 101, click on the description down below to work with me. And I'll see you guys in the next video, man. All right, guys. We're going to have a brief intermission
so that I could tell you guys about our new bundle that we're doing, where you guys can purchase all of my courses and get it at a discount. So this bundle is pretty much the bundle where you could just buy all of my courses. You could buy Nice Guy, which is a training course on how to come across more assertive, how to come across more confident, how to not give off nice guy vibes. You guys can get access to Dark Game, which is my full dating course on how to meet women in different scenarios, how to attract women, how to make sure you don't come across as creepy, and essentially how to act like a man and not act like a doofus, to be quite honest with you. And you get all of these bonuses, which is the bonuses of Dark Game, the bonuses of Practical Mastery, which is about how to master a skill, Social Mastery, which is how to master your social life, and the Laws of Human Nature, which is a book club videos that I had dissecting Robert Greene's book. All of this is naturally at around 238 200 no naturally is at $346, but you guys can purchase this bundle and get it at what's the price again? Get it at 238 pretty much. So you guys can purchase it right now. It's a money back 30-day money back guarantee. It's a good way to, rather than just buying them individually and paying extra, you guys can just purchase everything at a discount price. Now, the only thing I don't like is the fact that I'm giving you a lot of information at the same time. That makes me kind of scared, because a lot of times people don't do the things that I teach when you get too much information. But I've gotten too many requests to do this, so I'm just satisfying you guys. Purchase it right now by clicking on the description down below where it says purchase the bundle. All right, let's continue with the video.